I'm going to show you how to make a simple low hydration sourdough loaf that's perfect for beginners. And the best part is there's no overnight cold proof needed, so you don't have to wait until tomorrow to have fresh bread. The night prior to mixing your dough, you want to feed your sourdough starter so it can be peaked by the morning. The secret to having same-day sourdough bread is to add more starter to your recipe. I am adding 125 grams of active sourdough starter and 325 grams of filtered water. This is a 68% hydration recipe, so it will be easier to handle and it won't be as sticky as it usually would be if it was a higher hydration loaf. Now you will add 500 grams of flour and 10 grams of salt, and you want to mix everything together until well combined. It has been 100 degrees here where I live, so this dough bulk fermented so quickly, which is why I didn't add more starter. So if you live in a cooler environment, you can add up to 150 grams to make the fermentation go even quicker and have same day bread. I do have my AC on, but it only goes down to 75 degrees because it is so hot. The house will not cool down any further. As soon as I am done mixing my dough, or almost about done, I do get a silicone bench scraper, as you can see here, and I like to scrape all of the flour and the dough from the sides of the bowl. This is essential to get a clean dough dump and to make sure that all of the flour is being fermented properly. It helps you with the stretch and folds, that way the dough doesn't stick to the bowl too much, to the dry bits of flour or the dry bits of dough. Do not skip this step, and I promise you will see a huge difference when your dough is bulk fermenting, and even when you do the stretch and folds, the whole process is going to be much cleaner. I make sure that I mix everything together until well combined, until there are no pockets of flour left over, no dry bits. And then once again, I clean the sides of the bowl and I let the dough rest for 30 minutes to then start on the 4 sets of stretch and folds. Same day recipes are perfect for those who don't really like a sour loaf. The longer the dough takes to ferment, the more flavor of the sour taste it gets, and also cold proofing it gives it an even more sour flavor. On this first set of stretch and folds, you can see that I am grabbing the dough, stretching it and folding it over into itself. I go all around the bowl and then I grab the dough and flip it over. As you can see, there's not really much dough on the bowl. It's pretty clean, and doing some slap and folds is also going to pick up some of that dough that's left on the bottom. Slap and folds is going to strengthen your dough very quickly. You can see that the dough looks super smooth already and it's not really sticking to my hands anymore. You let the dough rest for another 30 minutes and we do the exact same thing, grabbing the dough, stretching it over, going all the way around the bowl, and then we're going to grab the dough and do some slap and folds. As soon as the dough starts to keep its shape, you want to stop and let it rest. If you continue, the dough will tear and it'll look super shaggy like it did in the beginning. I like to shape it into a little ball, that way I can see its growth and its progress as it bulk ferments. 30 minutes later and we're on to our third set. We are only going to do coil folds here, that way we are gentle on the dough. The dough is going to start rising or start to feel a little bit fluffy, so you don't want to deflate any of that. So I just grab the dough from the center, I stretch it out, let it fold within itself, and then once it starts to keep its shape, you want to stop and you let it rest once again. Look at how soft and smooth that is. It's not sticking to your hands whatsoever. And once again, after the 30 minutes, we're only going to do coil folds. The dough is not really stretching anymore. So once it starts to keep a shape like this, it's not really like stretchy or anything, you want to stop. The dough has gained enough strength and you can let it bulk ferment on the counter. This dough took about 5 hours from the moment I mixed all of the ingredients together. So right now with the warm temperatures, you can get away with doing a same day loaf. You can also warm up the water to speed up the fermentation if you want it even quicker. So this is what the dough looked like after the 5 hours. It's nice and fluffy, it's pulling away from the bowl. When I touch it, it doesn't feel dense. So I went ahead and shaped it. It has lots of bubbles on top and on the bottom. You can see here on the bowl. I I went ahead and gave this dough a pre-shape, and then I let it rest on the counter for about 20 minutes. The camera is very not focused, and I apologize. I hope you can still see what I'm doing. The lens was pretty dirty and I didn't notice it until afterwards. After the 20 minutes, I grab the dough and I flip it over. That way the top part, which is nice and smooth and not tacky, is on the bottom. That way it could be easier to shape. And then I decided to do a single caddy clasp on this dough, which is basically just grabbing the dough and folding it in half like a book. And then I put it into the banneton and you can see all of the bubbles. It's super fluffy and aerated. I decided to stitch the dough now because it is a low hydration, so it sticks to itself very easily. We didn't use any flour on the counter either, so the flour would probably prevent this from sticking to itself, which is why I don't really like using flour. But if you struggle with super sticky dough or you're having a hard time, flour will definitely help get the dough into the banneton and not stick to your hands as much. So this is what it looks like after I stitched it up. I let it rest on the counter until it passed the poke test. This is what it looks like right now. You poke the dough and it just bounces back very quickly. That means the dough is not ready to be baked with yet. So we're not doing a cold proof as mentioned before. I just put a little plastic wrap on top. After an hour, this is what the dough looked like. You can see that it has risen. It looks very puffy. I put some flour on my finger. That way the dough doesn't stick to it. And you can see that the dough has an indent. And if it springs back slowly or the indent stays, that means it's ready to be baked. If it springs back too fast like it did previously, it is not ready and you should let it sit on the counter for a bit longer. This dough is pretty hard to score since it is still warm. It wasn't in the refrigerator or anything, so it'll be a little bit of a struggle to score this. You can do a 7-minute score as well, but I don't really like to let out the steam from the Dutch oven, so I just rather struggle now than later. And I just do a score. I didn't do a decorative score. I baked this loaf at 450 degrees for 25 minutes with the Dutch oven lid on and about 15 minutes with the Dutch oven lid off until the internal temperature was from 200 to 210. And this is what the sourdough loaf looks like. So the whole process took about 6 hours from beginning to end, and then an additional 40 to 45 minutes to bake, and then you let it cool down for a little bit and you have a same day low hydration sourdough loaf. The crumb is going to be a little bit on the tighter side, so if you want a more open crumb, you would have to put more water into the recipe, but this is what the loaf turned out to be. It's perfect, it's delicious, it's soft. You can see that it bounces back very quickly, meaning it's like super fluffy and light. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in my next one.